The Ashoka Badana states that Kunala was born at the exact same day that Ashoka built his 84,000 stupas to his mother and Ashoka's chief queen Padmavi. Ashoka immediately went to see his newborn son Kunala, and at first he thought Kunala was just any other son that would be born to continue the lineage of Ashoka. Therefore, Ashoka named the future Kunala as Dharma Vivarta, meaning the upbringer of Dharma, just as Ashoka himself had done. But then Ashoka went to see Kunala and noticed that he had beautiful eyes. His eyes were not like a human's, but his officers told him that they knew of a bird that lived in the great Himalaya mountains that had this exact eye color like a blue lotus. So Ashoka immediately demanded that the Kunala be shown to him to check this fact, and her earth herself gave the bird to Ashoka. Then Ashoka checked with the eyes of both the Kunala bird and his son, and they proved to be the exact same. Therefore, Ashoka named his son as Kunala. Soon, Kunala would grow up and marry another woman. But then, Ashoka called his priest Yasas to check Kunala. Yasas noticed something wrong with Kunala and declared a prophecy that his eyes will be lost. And so Yasas commanded Kunala to take care of his eyes every day because his eyes were fickle. At this point, the now queen Tishyarakshita became jealous of the boy and began developing hatred for the boy. Kunala was everything like his father. He was virtuous and he followed the dharma correctly. But then there was a rebellion in Taxila province. Kunala requested Ashoka to allow him to crush the rebellion. When he did arrive in Taxila, the rebels were not rebelling against the prince nor the emperor Ashoka. Rather, they were simply rebelling against the corrupt local ministers who condemned them. So Kunala was treated with like a king. So then in Pataliputra, the Emperor Ashoka had become ill. Tishyarakshita, the chief queen, attempted to find a cure for this illness. So she ordered the guards to kill anybody showing the exact same symptoms as Ashoka. They did find him and then they killed him. So Tishyarakshita did some experiments on this man and found out that an onion will fix the symptoms of Ashoka. So she gave an onion to Ashoka, whom could not eat it as he was a Kshatriya. So Tishyarakshita made Ashoka eat the onion anyway as a juice instead. So Ashoka was thus cured. But Ashoka promised Tishyarakshita that he would give him any boon for her cure. Therefore, Tishyarakshita demanded that she become ruler for 7 days. Ashoka initially was reluctant, but after being reassured that he would not be killed during this temporary reign, he gave the Tishyarakshita the throne. Therefore, Tishyarakshita was now empress, and then she signed a letter telling the people of Taxila to kill Kunala using the teeth of Ashoka while he was sleeping. Now, Kunala and the rest of the citizens of Taxila and the ministers were very surprised at this. The ministers and the citizens did not want to kill Ashoka at all, but then they realized if Ashoka was so fierce that he would kill his own son, what kind of punishment would he give to them for not following his orders? Therefore, Kunala was then called for his faith, and to everybody's surprise, Kunala accepted this, and thus he was blinded. His eyes were gouged out, and but he unlocked the spiritual eye, which made him an arhat at that very spot. Later, when Kunala learned that Tishyarakshita was the one that who sent this letter as a forgery, Kunala actually showed immense mercy to Tishyarakshita and blessed her by letting her live for long. Please subscribe so you do not miss out on our later videos. Thank you.